Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is TOYA EP4. I upload skincare, lifestyle and personal development content. Today I'm back with my series Talk with Toya, where we do the talking and you do the listening. Today I'm here with my good sis Jenna.
Thank you. My name is Jenna. So nice to see you guys.
Look how pretty she's looking today.
You look gorgeous.
Today I'm so excited because I've just been so inconsistent with this series, so we're back, and today we're going to be talking about leveling up your life with confidence, kindness and crushing your goals. As I always do, we're going to go through the definitions of the words and then we'll get into it.
So we're going to be talking about confidence. Confidence to me is someone who's self-aware, self-assured of themselves and knows exactly what they want and isn't afraid to go and get it. That's what confidence means.
And kindness is the quality of being generous and of being considerate.
We're gonna speak about a time where we, felt unsure. Mine was when I was introduced to a new group of people and it was a different environment. I didn't really know them. I wasn't scared, but I was nervous about whether we click, as there can be a certain type of personality clash where some people, they just don't mix with each other. But luckily enough for me, we did get along very well and I'm still friends with them to this day. It definitely helped build up my confidence.
What did you do that helped you to be confident in that situation?
I made sure that I didn't care about what anybody else would say. I remained very self-assured, definitely, and just knowing that my voice is just as valid as anybody else's. Then the thought of caring about negative things never actually crossed my mind because there's no reason for it to. When you have that confidence, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Honestly, just know who you spend your time with. They should want to have you around.
Exactly. For me, it's kind of similar to hair because some place that I did feel unsure was, for those of you who don't know, we actually did go to the same school just for a year. And
partially, but
when I was moving from my first initial school, it was a really quick decision that I made, and I was quite unsure at first.
Mine was quick as well.
I was like on the spot.
Week off. Let's go.
Let me pack my bags and let me go.
I did.
Let me get my gun. I must go back and go. First, I was quite unsure, especially as obviously, I was in a new environment with new people, and it was really different from my old school where I had been for a couple of years. I had close friends there. One thing I did to stay confident was click with other people, vibe with other people. Everybody else clicked with me as well.
Like they feed off of that energy.
Yeah. People feed off of you, and this links into kindness as well. Exactly.
Because people think confidence is all about, the brain and what you say, but they don't stop and think and realize that it's also your body language, it's your vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
When you walk into a room, you can tell who's confident and who's not. You can tell when someone is radiant, their vibe, their aura.
Exactly. And that's
if the aura is off, that person, they're not confident. Exactly. You can tell.
So once I moved, I did that, and I always loved getting the compliment of when we would bring up the conversation of what did you think when you first met me, and people would say, oh, I thought you were so confident. Yeah, I was a bit unsure at first, but being able to show that I was confident, click with new people. I was the type of person that if the teacher told me off for talking to one person and moved me away to another person, I'm gonna end up talking to that person too. When you're confident, you just click with people. It links with kindness. So I'm gonna stop there.
Can I continue?
Yeah.
You know what you reminded me of? Growing up, a lot of people would tell me, oh, you're so confident, you're so, all the time. Even though it's good, it made me feel a bit unsure because I didn't want to be too much of anything. It wasn't anything bad about my confidence, it was good. But because a lot of people would tell me, I felt as though, well, am I too much? Am I too confident? Is that the thing? It turns out that finding that self-assurance and maturing in your confidence, then you know that no matter what people say, good or bad, I know who I am. I know myself. I don't need people to tell me who I am, what I am.
Go off. Exactly.
Because as long as I know what I am, what matters the most is the truth. I know the truth about myself. Whether other people do, whether it's good or bad, I know. And that's the most important thing. And I'm completely, self-sufficient.
Exactly. Period. Okay. The next question is, how can we support each other in building a confident environment full of confident people?
The key word in there is support. The way I interpret it, it's with your friends. If they lack a bit of confidence, but they want that help. That's another key word, want. If they want that help, then you can help them. I think that would be being a good friend. But if it's a person who you're trying to put your energy in, I've seen a term on Instagram. What is it? Energy vampires or something. You see that?
Energy takers.
They make you feel drained. So if you're trying to help somebody who just genuinely, at the end of the day, like deep down, you know that they don't actually want your help. They find a comfort in what they are, even though they're not happy with it. Weird. So if the person is like that, and if you're trying to put your energy and help them, and they genuinely just not responding with it at all, sometimes you just have to drop people.
Exactly. There needs to be a point where you just need to.
You know what? I need to work on myself still. I can't be putting all of my energy into this person because they're unhappy, and I'm trying to help them, but they're not holding themselves accountable. And
it doesn't mean that you should see yourself better than other people, but it means that you should be friends with people, preferably who are more confident than you.
You look for that confidence. It's a vibe thing. You see it and you think, I want to be friends with them. They know who they are.
You know? It's not out of spite, it's not out of jealousy, it's not out of fear, but it's out of inspiration. Not to be
it's
like
attractive.
It's attractive.
It's very attractive.
Exactly.
In relationships and anything, you want them to be confident and solid, and they know who they are. And that doesn't mean that they don't have, off days. We all do. We're not perfect.
And you need to support them when they have their off days. But they know how
to pick themselves up on their own.
Yeah.
Do you get me? They know how to take care of themselves. It's just nice to be around people like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing we should do to also help build confidence crews is to also affirm. I believe it's truly important to constantly affirm with your friends, affirm positive things, recite positive affirmations constantly, because you can't afford, especially in this day and age, especially if you want to go far, to have friends who constantly, even if they throw little jokes, even towards themselves, friends who constantly bring themselves down.
It's also the truth. I want the best for myself. It's also confidence, and I deserve to be around the best, in my opinion. So why aren't I? You can look in the mirror and you think, who am I spending my time with? I know, we're all not perfect, and everyone has their own little things about them that, might not be exactly what you want, and that's fine. But if it's somebody who genuinely you're trying to help them and they just don't want to be helped, sometimes you just have to.
You just need to. Exactly. What's that J. Cole song?
Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Sometimes people, they're just so
unsavable.
Unsavable. Like you kind of just have to
you just need to leave it to God. Honestly, you cannot change people. This is one thing I always say.
Like with girls, when they get into relationships, you can't fix him.
We're gonna call her back and we're gonna have a discussion on this, because I have a lot to say when it comes.
Sometimes you can't actually
change him.
He needs to want it himself, or she, or anybody. Do you get me? Because it's not my job. It's your job.
You only got one job.
Please do your job. Please.
Exactly. So now we're moving on to the topic of kindness, and the question is, how can we actively spread kindness every day? I think we can do this just through the little things, to be honest. Kindness is really important. It's something that's actually really overlooked, especially to people our age. I have realized that when people bring up the topic of kindness, people our age tend to
brush it aside.
Brush it aside. And we live in such a negative world where every piece of media we see is negative. People are constantly dragging each other.
You need to make sure you don't fall in that category.
And kindness is a mutual thing. When you have a kind, vibrant personality, you instantly attract good people and good things into your life. That's why it's so important. So just through the little things, even the way you carry yourself in such a positive way that the people who dislike you have no choice but to like
power over you.
Exactly. You'll make them look silly for disliking you, because
but remember, that's not your goal. You do your thing, and whether they look silly or not, it doesn't
matter. What do you think?
I think spreading kindness is obviously a big issue with nowadays, especially because, like I said, it does get brushed aside. But that doesn't mean that there aren't good eggs. There are. Do you get me? It's important to recognize that sometimes, even though certain people don't care about what people say, blah blah blah, there are people who do. So just know that words can affect those people. I've seen it, that words can really stick with people. I met people and they're like, oh, this person said a negative comment about my hair one time, and I've never worn my hair like in that style ever again. And I'm like, that one negative comment, literally you allowed it to like control your life in a way. People have said stuff about like even my curly hair growing up. Honestly, I think it's the most beautiful thing ever. You know what, that didn't change. I knew deep down that it was fine, but why would I let anyone say anything affect me in any way? Because it doesn't. Full on, I know that it's it.
Literally, like hair on fleek, everything slick. Don't play. And I also believe that when it comes to being surrounded around kind people, especially when you have that energy, one thing that's really important is checking up on those friends, because the most positive of friends that you see, they go through things too, and they have their struggles. I have this one friend.
She's like a bundle of sunshine. She is
a bundle of sunshine. And she's just so If you meet this
positivity,
girl, she's the epitome.
She's a hype woman.
Yeah,
she is that hype woman.
Exactly. And I just saw a TikTok and it was just really uplifting, and it was just about, I hope you get through the battles you're going through. I hope you get through the things that you don't speak about. And I just sent it to her and she was like, she really needed it. And often the people who just seem the happiest are always so overlooked, as if they don't have their own struggles. So I always watch out for those friends.
I feel like
they're
good at hiding it the most in a way.
Yeah, they are.
Because sometimes when they're labeled as happy and it's good, they might feel a slight bit of pressure to keep that image up, because it's a good one. They don't want to lose it.
They also have to carry the toll of everybody else's problems on their backs. That's how they feel sometimes.
It's that extra pressure.
Exactly. It's key to check on those kind people. Be kind to them as well.
It also made me think, people can seem confident, you know, like say if somebody's loud or something, but I saw this quote and it made me think about it like for a while, and it was, sometimes the loudest people in the room hurt the most, and that really like spoke volume to me. Sometimes people, they can be loud because they're nervous, and it can be seen as some sort of confidence, and you know, it is in some cases, but it's important to realize that we all kind of have our own struggles as well, and there's no harm in helping somebody if they want to be helped. Still.
Don't save her if she don't want to be saved, or him.
That's my new favorite line.
For real. So this all leads to us talking about how we actually can start a kindness chain reaction. So I'm going to ask you, how can we start that reaction?
When you put good into the world, good will come back to you. But remember that don't do something good to get something good back in return. That's not a good expectation. If you genuinely do good things, then I'm a firm believer in, I think good things will come back to you. Whether that is in a matter of time or if it comes very soon, know that being a good person is definitely worth it. It is certainly one of the best choices. And to remember that not all people are good people like you. Sometimes there are bad people in the world, and you have to make sure that you know how to navigate around them, so you never get tied into people like that. You just don't mix with them. You make sure that you're with your group of people who are good people. That causes what you said, the chain reaction, that when people also see you do good, it makes them want to do it as well.
Exactly.
And they see how liberating it is. They also feed off of that kindness and they do it themselves. That's, in my opinion, is how you can spread a chain reaction of kindness.
For me, I'm gonna say something a bit different. I agree with everything she said. I also think it's really important to show kindness towards the people who dislike you. I think it's really important. It's hard, especially with me going to an all-girls school for a very long time. We ain't even gonna go there today. But I was unproblematic. However, I would always be ready to defend myself and to finish an argument if anybody wanted to start one.
Oh yeah, you finish it. I like that. I like that. I say that a lot actually. Started it, but I'll be the one who finishes it.
Well, I realized that over time I have changed, and you know what? I just really can't be bothered. I have energy to put into better places and better things, and I just truly believe
that.
Then
to be beefing with you.
Exactly.
That means you can't be bothered.
I just don't argue with anybody, and it just feels so refreshing. I can't even remember the last time I argued with someone, and if you try that with me, I just laugh. How you wouldn't want to argue with me, and I'm over here like, yeah.
Leave it, honestly.
Just vibe.
Can we all just have peace? Can we all just smile? Like, would it kill you to crack a smile?
Like,
come
just
on.
smile. Even now, I just know that even though it can be hard, especially because it's within human nature to want to be vengeful against people who do you dirty, but don't. God has something coming for them.
Prayer.
Exactly. Prayer softens your heart.
Pray for them.
You never know what that person's going through.
And what caused them to be like that towards you. There must be something bad.
So of course, it's hard. It's within our human nature. I'm not saying that you should sit there and like let people walk all over you. If that happens, you need to get up and leave. What I am saying is that instead of, you know, despising those who despise you, you know, be like Jesus. Do what Jesus did, okay?
I'm gonna go off of that. I see what you mean, that it's good to show kindness to the people who may not really like you or something, which is fine. But just remember that you don't crave any type of validation towards them at all.
Ever.
You're not being nice to them because you want them to like you. At the end of the day, you can't force a relationship with somebody, whether it's a friendship or a relationship. You can't force that. You are you, they are them, and we all have free will that we could do what we please. We could be with who we want. We could spend time with people that we like. like, and if they genuinely don't want to be around you or don't want to be your friend,
then
or
that's their
anything like
loss.
that, yeah, it is their loss. And also, it's not your responsibility to try and formulate that. You don't need to, you know, try and make anything work.
I remember seeing a video and it was like, this is in the term of relationships. A lot of people tend to say, all this relationship, situationship, whatever. I don't believe in situationships, honestly. That's a topic for a different day. But I remember seeing a video of a woman and she was like, you need to stop waiting for closure from people. If somebody decides to dislike you and they leave you, that is your closure. You don't need to wait for closure. You need to forget external validation. Have that validation within yourself. Know who you are in God. Know who God created you to be. So
yeah, I agree. Sometimes in life stuff happens, you don't get no closure, no explanation.
Exactly.
You can't hatch it out with people,
and it sucks, but
and it's stuck in your head and questions are left. You're wondering, oh, is the questions they're probably thinking about me?
Yeah.
Or sometimes you just have to let it go.
Stop overthinking.
And you know the truth, that should be enough for you.
Exactly.
And if it's not, then, you know, keep trying to help it and make sure that it is enough for you, because at the end of the day, sometimes you just don't get closure.
That's it. She's just spitting back. So now we're on to the last topic of today, which is crushing your goals. We're on to the goal getter game plan, chasing your goals.
I love that
how you do
alliteration.
that. Goal getter game plan. Yeah. So the question is, how do we break our goals down into achievable steps? Because big goals and big dreams are amazing, but it's about the practicality of actually getting them done. And what I'm gonna say, of course your girl over here is gonna bring in her planner, okay? One thing that I highly recommend when it comes to breaking down your goals is to incorporating them into vision boards, incorporating them into affirmations. You need a daily planner.
Just buy it.
And you need. If you guys don't know, I have the New Year Better Me planner. So I created this planner and it's the ultimate self-development and goal planner.
I love the title of that planner.
New Year Better Me.
Because it's usually people say New Year, New Me. But you don't actually have to be a new you just overnight instantly.
Exactly.
It's just a better version of yourself, so you can build off
Exactly.
of that.
And that's why in my planner, it's set out in monthly goals. So you set out your monthly goals, there's space for you to put mini vision boards. So it's as if you're picking out your Pinterest vision boards and you're putting them in a book. In the planner as well, there's space for goals every single month, an annual reflection at the end of the year. And you can also reflect on each month, which is really important. Look at your progress, look at how far you've come, because little wins are just as important as the big wins.
Yeah, they are, because they all build up on top of each other, like going off of what you said.
Exactly.
And also I remember we did this mini events and we made vision boards, so I think
That's my New Year Better Me brunch.
It's one thing to see it on a screen, but when we're actually making it, I still have that board. I look at it every day.
That's the benefit. So buy my planner and
when you
come to my event.
When you see it, it's one thing to see it on a screen, but when you see it on paper, you look at it and you hold it and you think like, that can be me if I put the effort in. It's the consistency and the discipline. If you have that, then honestly you'll be fine. But you've got to know that we're not perfect, and sometimes if you go a bit off track, I'll use exercise. It's a good example. We've been to the gym together. We've been to the gym. If you go a bit off track, or if you just don't stick to your normal regime, or you miss a day at the gym, don't let that just knock you completely off the path of whatever you're doing. Just know that it's okay to mess up. That is the important time in your life where you have to realize, I need to pick myself back up and continue. Because if I just quit, if I just let one little thing say, okay, well, it doesn't work anyway, you know, I'm not doing it. Or if you only, I don't know, go to the gym once a month or something, and you're like, where's the change? You have to actually stick with it. And even if you do mess up, just know that you're not gonna gain like 10 pounds overnight. You get me? You'll be fine. You'll be okay. And I'm not giving you excuses to like slack off, but what I'm trying to say is, if you ever do, don't let that ruin your whole brand that you got going on for yourself, your routine and your goals, and literally, and your like your consistency over it. You mess up, okay, let me pick myself back up and let me just continue about what I'm doing tomorrow. You know, I'm not doing it again tomorrow.
Don't be too harsh on yourself.
Have a day that you just kind of relax and everything and decompress, like them self-care Sundays or something, you know. You can tell I live on Instagram
and Pinterest.
Yeah, basically just having that time to rewind, because it can get a little bit overwhelming. Have that happy balance, girl. You'll be fine, girl.
Exactly.
Oh boy, whoever's watching it, you'll be okay. You don't need to stress about it too much. Just know that if you quit, you're not gonna get it at all. Sometimes it feels like, what am I even doing this for? You know, there's no change. I've been doing this for like a month or something. it is working, but you have to keep doing
Trust
it. And
the
I know
process.
that it hurts or it's painful or it's, oh, I can't be bothered. You still take yourself though. You still
Exactly.
go. So that shows that, you know, deep down you know that this is actually working for you. And also when you grow up into adulthood, say if somebody has children, it's good that the children see how consistent their parents are, and that encourages them actually to stick to what they want to do as well.
So now under this topic of crushing your goals, we're going to discuss what we're good at and how we can use our strengths to help us help other people and to achieve our goals.
I think the things that you're good at can kind of shape you as a person, like your interest in everything. If you find somebody and say they're interested in it, for example, she's really good at Spanish, I'm learning Spanish, so I could always ask her as a friend for a helping hand, like if I'm struggling with it, just like, so if I don't understand it, I can always, you know, call her up and be like, what does this mean? Do you get me? So it's like that. It's good to have diverse talents. It's something, you know, unique, as long as it is something that you're passionate about. I think that it also gives you a drive to continue doing it, which can change how you are as well. It can change how you see things, your consistency and everything. And also, more importantly, discipline. That's important, to stay disciplined in what you want to do, and it builds character as well. It builds strength. It's definitely, I think, a good learning experience as well. So if you're good at something, you can always help somebody if they're interested in learning what you're, you know, good at. Even when it comes to studying, if you're good at, you know, math or English or whatever it is, then you can always, you know, tutor somebody or help somebody. That is also a form of spreading kindness as well. You know
how they all link, they all intertwine.
Yeah, like supporting people, whether you're close with them or not.
I also think that it's important to use our strengths to help us as well, so it links with confidence as well. I always say that when you focus on your strengths rather than your weaknesses, you're pushed to go further. And I always say that obviously we need to improve our weaknesses, and it's important to, you know, work on ourselves, but I do believe that when we focus on our strengths instead of our weaknesses, the majority of the time we are capable to do things that we never could have imagined us being able to even do. And there are people out there who genuinely look up to you despite you knowing. So being able to use your strengths to impact other people, help other people, and improve yourself and boss up, it will help you a lot.
Yeah, it's inspirational seeing that, like when your friends are like that, especially.
And it creates a chain effect.
I remember I met one of your friends. She said to me that she woke up at like 5 a.m. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
I know you're talking about, yeah.
Literally, and I remember I said I always complain about waking up at like 6:40 or something.
Yeah, me
and just
too.
know it. She just said it so nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, I wake up at 5 a.m. and do blah blah. I was like, hang on, let's rewind. Wait, you wake up at what time? I'm a night owl, so I like to sleep during the morning. I don't mind being a morning person, but 5 a.m. is like, that is where I draw the line. I thought I really be out here complaining about waking up at 6 whatever, and we got people who just say, oh yeah, I wake up at 5 a.m. She's
Even
like, well,
4, some people.
yeah, my dad was like, oh yeah, I used to wake up at 3. He had like a little side job, and I would think like, wow, really complaining about waking up at half 7.
Time.
He'd be waking up at 3. Obviously you don't need to compare it. I compare it, but in a way that
in a positive way.
Yeah, it's not diminishing in any way.
It's
I'm like, wow,
you're inspired to be like that.
I said wow, but listen, listen, that's the only word I can really think of right now. I take from it, some people compare it and think, oh, why aren't I like? I think it's important to look at it and think, well,
I love that for you.
Yeah, I love that. I love that for you. And also, I'm still not waking up at 5 a.m. but I do love that for you. Like,
one day. But me and Jenna, we like our beauty sleep.
I like to sleep. As you can see.
As you can see. We're the type of people that want to get our lives together at 12 midnight.
No.
3
in the morning, I start rearranging my entire room. I do like a 25-minute workout.
I start doing Pilates at 1 a.m. in the morning.
Literally clearing abs in like a day or something. We wake up the next day, you're like, what? You know,
and being a Proverbs 31 woman, I saw that you need to be up at dawn. I was just like, hey.
I see all these people, they get an ice baths. Yes. I've seen it. Yes. Get an ice
I want to be like that one day.
I do, but at the same time,
and you like your bed.
Yeah, I do like my bed.
Like the comfort of bed, yeah.
But to not compare it in a bad way, like you said before, like a negative, look at it and then look at yourself and think, well, I can still add to my routine if I want to improve it, but just know that there's steps and you don't have to rush into it. You don't have to be perfect tomorrow. Do you get me? And just take your time with it. Also remember that you have to stay consistent with it and stay disciplined. So I think that is important.
Moving on to the last point for today, we are going to be discussing tips on how to overcome fear, overcome challenges, and also embrace challenges as well as overcome them. First, I'm going to ask, what is something that you've always wanted to do or try but haven't yet?
I'd say traveling. I've traveled with schools, I've traveled with my family, but I want to travel with people like friends and everything. I want to do that. So I'll be literally here. I will probably start next year, I think, yeah.
You're gonna see us outside next
Exactly. Which is definitely exciting for me. And obviously I've never tried it, not because I don't want to, but because I have to wait a little bit longer. I have obviously traveled, but I want to do it like with friends, like girls trip. Like, come on, let's you know, make some memories.
I'd say the same as well. And also one thing that I haven't done, especially with being a public speaker, is talk to an audience with hundreds of thousands of people. That's something that I really want to do someday. So now we're going to discuss overcoming fear. So give some tips to people who are watching on overcoming fear and embracing challenges as well as getting over their challenges.
I think to overcome fear, you have to understand what the source is. So if your source of fear is worrying about what people are going to say or think, you have to scratch that and just forget it. If the fear comes from a risk factor, you're taking a risk. I think it's okay to take risks in life as long as it's not, you know, too crazy.
Yeah, there's no reward with no risk.
Yeah, but you gotta understand when you take risks, there are also consequences to that if it doesn't work out. So be careful. Sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. Try not to allow fear to control you as well. Like I said before, if the source of your fear comes from what people are gonna say or what would they think, please just put it aside.
To be honest, she's just said it so well that I don't even think I have anything to add. She's literally took the words out of my mouth because I would say the exact same thing, especially when she mentioned you need to find the root of that fear. You need to find the source.
Once you understand it, you can stop it.
Exactly. Once you find the source of something, then you can come up with a solution for it.
If you don't know where it's coming from, then you just
you can't find a solution to something when you don't know where the problem has come from. Girl, we talking too much facts here. Oh my goodness.
You need to process the problem. You need to process what it is, and then you think, okay, well, let's find a solution.
So that is it. That is it. We've said everything we need to say. Wow. This was double wow. This was such a good episode. It was so fun to film.
Also a little side note before we go. We have not seen each other in literally
months.
You need to find friends that even if you don't see each other for literally
when we
months,
see each other, it feels like I just saw him yesterday.
Exactly. We literally have not seen each other
for months. But guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Keep your notifications on. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Guys, I hope you're inspired. I hope you're empowered. Take notes. Always come to our classes with your notebook and your pens, okay? Take notes and have a very, very blessed day. Bye.